Today I went to a library and I finished summer reading. They gave me these two new books for completing the program. These two are prizes and they are for free. I only have 45. I had 45 Magic Trios books, but now since I got these two, I have 47. Actually 48 if you include that. And that's really not a reading book. It's actually games of puzzles. They only allowed me to get one book, but since I have a brother, I got two books. I should thank my mom and dad because since they knew I like Magic Trios book, they gave me 48 Magic Trios books. And thank you to the author for writing them. And my favorite Magic Trios book is the Titanic because it's a really large ship that sailed, but it sunk. The Titanic was named the Titanic because it was Titan in Greek mythology, and that meant huge. But it was really huge. It was 11-story buildings tall and 4 city blocks long. The captain was named Captain John Smith. 889 crew members were listed, and the Titanic hit the iceberg on April 15th and sank that morning. Many people believed it wouldn't sink because it could stay afloat with 3 rooms flooded, and it still would be afloat. But the band still played cheerful music to keep the people happy. Most of the people died because there were not enough lifeboats. They needed more lifeboats, from 20 to 40. They needed 40 lifeboats, and there were not enough rescue ships. But people still got help from the Carpathia because they burned everything they could. They burned paper, magazines, cardboard, anything they could find. The iceberg hit the Titanic and scraped off the star of the White Starship. It was controlled by the White Starship Company, but they didn't own it. More than something owned the ship. The Titanic had many problems that night. Is it true that the Titanic collapsed with another ship before it sank? That is true. It collapsed with the New York ship. And the Titanic had, this was the last problem the Titanic had. Its fire was still burning in the coal pad. Do you know why the Titanic's fire hasn't gone out yet? Because one of the crew members said it would be okay because it started a few crumbs of coal lying and it became a little fire. But it spread apart and became a big fire. And the captains, that's why the Titanic split apart. The captain was named Captain John Smith. And the Carpathia didn't save the Titanic because the radio operator went to sleep early that night. The Titanic carried more than 150 tons of coal to keep it running. There were 27 boilers, and the boilers were installed first. The HH-11 was the first thing to discover where the Titanic landed. People can't get the Titanic from land because it is far out at sea in the Atlantic Ocean. The Titanic hit the iceberg in the Atlantic Ocean, and it was a little iceberg, but little icebergs mean trouble because there's more on the bottom. The iceberg didn't hit it on front. It scraped up the part where the Titanic's engines were, and the Titanic stopped, and the engines filled up with water. So that's how the Titanic became heavy and sank. The Titanic is not the biggest ship till now. The Grand Princess is twice the size of the Titanic and has a larger deck. Is it true that the Olympians were afraid to go to sea when they heard the news of the Titanic? Yes, the driver really didn't want to go, but he had to, and it was a success. But till World War I, a cannon bursted through the place where the boilers were, but they were able to get it patched, and it was scraped a long time after that.